Hello Nikki, hello Transport Evolved. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I did lots of sleeping. I still need lots more sleep, but that will happen. I really like your idea of having adverts on the TV that link air pollution to health. And it's a connection we all know exists, but I don't think has quite permeated the consciousness of people in general. There are very cool devices people are installing now on the outside of their homes that kind of crowdsource air pollution levels across the UK. And you can see from it that there is a lot of bad stuff in the air that we shouldn't be breathing. Add that to Paris, which had to take some drastic measures because of the smog. They made public transport, or buses or trams or tube travel, free for 3 days because of how much smog there was to encourage people to take them rather than driving. Then they did this odd thing with odd numbered license plates and even nicer numbered license plates allowed in the city at different times to try and reduce that amount of pollution. It's a battle we need to win, and I think it's a battle we need to push more. The problem is it's faced with well, I'm not putting that much in. What does me not driving affect the overall? When all these lorries and trucks and other people are driving, me not driving isn't going to change anything. And it's that whole horrid apathy idea that affects democracy as well, which is my vote won't matter. It does matter. What you do does matter. Tinkering with cars and charging stations and devices like that, yeah, I can see why it's such a conflicted area. But my phone there is different. It's fundamentally different. My phone is a locked down phone. It's an Apple phone. It is locked down. I am not really allowed to tinker with it. But that's because I lease the phone. The phone isn't mine for the 2 years I have the lease for. And that's kind of the same with the car. But as soon as the car is paid off, it's mine. I should be able to do what I want, just in the same way that my TV is mine, or my radio is mine, or my computer is mine. And I quite regularly take them apart, and my other half quite regularly takes them apart to see what we can do and what we can change. We've got my DVR downstairs as an open source DVR. I've got a Raspberry Pi downstairs running as a home entertainment system. I've got my Hackintosh here, as you've got, which was wonderfully helped to be funded by the wonderful Transport Evolved people. I've got loads of things that are running open source tinkered software because I want that control, and not everyone does. But if it goes wrong, and I guess that's the big question that people are concerned about, is if it goes wrong, where does the liability lie? So if my Hackintosh, let's say my computer here, goes wrong and catches fire, whose fault is that? Well, it's mine. I put it together incorrectly. If the power supply was faulty and then that caught fire, then that would be the power supplier's manufacturer's fault, not Amazon's fault, who I bought it through. So it gets a bit more complex than the liability, but not to the point where people can't figure it out. What do I want to talk to you about? Well, today is April the 1st, April Fool's Day. If anyone plays a trick on me, don't. I hate it. But I quite like all of the silly stories we get out, the April Fool's stories. They're good. And Nissan released one that I've seen going around on the Nissan social media, which is for the Nissan GTR QI charger for your mobile phone, which charges your mobile phone from 0 to 100% in 2.8 seconds, which I believe, or 2.9 seconds, which I believe is the speed it takes the GTR to get from 0 to 60, and it's a big play on the GTR, which is very clever. But I don't know if I would have done that if I was Nissan, because it propagates a fundamental misunderstanding of electricity. And as a manufacturer that's trying to promote electric cars, surely the next question they will be asked is, why can't the Nissan Leaf charge that quickly? And I think it links into this problem we've got in the EV world, that it's very hard for people to understand electricity. People don't understand their own electricity bills. People don't know the difference between kilowatts, kilowatts per hours, kilowatts per hour. People don't understand how to work it out. They don't understand the rate at which you can draw. I've had people ask me, why can't I charge my car 0 to 80% in 20 minutes like Nissan advertise from my home connection? They don't understand that that kind of power doesn't come to your house. They don't understand what amps are, what voltage is. Maybe this does link into my previous idea of what we need to make mass adoption. We need some training. We need some teaching. We need some education about electricity and what it is. How we as a species have got to this point with electricity being so ubiquitous all over the place, and yet people don't understand it, is a bit crazy. So I guess there are two questions for you. One, what's the coolest April Fools that you saw today? And two, how can we better improve people's education about power and electricity and how it actually works? See you tomorrow, Nikki. See you tomorrow, Transport Evolved, for the hump day of the week for Wednesday. Bye bye.